Good afternoon. We've been walking to the cross, going through Jesus last week. Today is Friday. Jesus was arrested last night, betrayed by one of his own. He was bound and taken into Caiaphas' house where he had prisons, dungeons, holes actually in the cave underneath his house. He was dropped into that cave, that dark pit overnight, and there he prepared for the next morning. Early that next morning, he was brought before the Sanhedrin. The trial, even in the beginning, is illegal. But they bring him before the Sanhedrin, and they begin to bring accusers out, saying he's going to tear down the temple and rebuild it, and claiming that he is a king, and all of these things, to which Jesus just stayed silent. They hate him with so much hatred. They want him to be rid of so badly, and they don't have the power to crucify him. So they take him to the Roman consulate, Pilate. And there they begin to say, he's claiming to be king. He's a threat. He needs to be put to death. And Pilate begins to look at all the facts and begins to talk to Jesus and comes back out and says, there's nothing that I see here that he should be condemned to death. And so then Pilate gets an idea and sends him to Herod Antipas. Herod sees him, and Herod, being the man he is, wants him to perform a magic trick to once again Jesus stays silent. He's brought back to Pilate. And Pilate thinks to himself, if I have him flogged, surely the crowd will turn and they'll give him mercy. And so he had the soldiers strip him and begin to beat him with a cat of nine tails. 39 lashes, because 40 would kill you. And so Jesus is beaten in front of that crowd. And after he's beaten and bleeding and suffering, the crowd looks and continues to scream, crucify him. Crucify him. So Pilate washes his hands, and we see Jesus take his cross and begin to walk those streets to the hill of the skull to pay the price for your sin and mine. He's hung on that cross around 9 a.m. He speaks from that cross. But the most important words were at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when he looked up to heaven and he cried out and said, it is finished. What was finished? He paid the price for my sin. He paid the price for your sin. So many times we get excited about Easter and the resurrection, and we should. But we tend to forget what it cost. God so loved the world that he gave his only son. His son was a real man who suffered, unbelievably suffered, to pay the price for your sin and for my sin. We want to remember, we call it Good Friday because it was good for us. Tomorrow is Saturday. It's a day of silence. His disciples are living in fear. They've run, they've scattered wherever they can. They know that they're next. Everything they've lived for is gone. They have wasted 3 years of their life following someone they thought was going to be the Messiah, and all of their hopes were dashed. We call Saturday silent, and we're going to be silent too. We won't have a broadcast tomorrow. I hope that during the day you can think of what those early followers were doing. Because on Sunday morning, the most incredible things happens that has shaped the whole world. And these very men that are silent on Sunday and hiding end up turning the world upside down because of Jesus. Join us Sunday for Easter and what Easter truly means to every one of us. And we'll answer the question, who is this Jesus?
God, I look to you. I won't be overwhelmed. Give me vision to see things like you do. God, I look to you. You're where my help comes from. Give me wisdom. You know just what to do. God, I look to you. I won't be overwhelmed. Give me vision to see things like you do. God, I look to you. You're where my help comes from. Give me wisdom. You know just what to do. And I will love you, Lord, my strength. And I will love you, Lord, my shield. And I will love you, Lord, my rock. Never all my days I will love you, God. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Forever all my days. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Forever all my days. God, we praise you. We thank you that you are not confined by borders. You're not bound by any disease. Lord God, you are the author of life, the great physician. Help us to look to you, to trust that you are who you say you are, that you're good, that you're powerful, that you're merciful, that you're great, that you are love, and you reign. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Hallelujah, our God reigns. Hallelujah, God, we look to you. We won't be overwhelmed. Give us vision to see things like you do. God, we look to you. You're where our help comes from. Give us wisdom. You know just what to do.